Freedom to think for yourself, choose for yourself, speak for yourself, be and act yourself. That's independence. But however, ours is a dependent independence. Welcome to the month of October, the month of Nigerians' independence celebration. But hold on, are we truly independent? Anyway, let's celebrate. After all, don't we celebrate the fact that there's nothing to celebrate as we consistently depend on one another, even as we depend on bribery over invoicing and budget padding to go by, yet we want to eradicate corruption. Our professionals like lawyers, judges, engineers, architects, medical doctors, civil servants, artisans, and even the everyday people depend on cutting corners rather than follow standard procedures, and yet religiously believe Nigeria will be successful. And they pick my teeth like Buhari. We depend on God to solve our basic infrastructural needs, yet believes God depend on us for his existence. I will fight you if you talk about my God like that. I feel sad. Our religious centers depend on the congregates' tithe and offering for their daily survival and successes, yet requires the same congregate to depend on God's grace and blessing for their daily bread. They tell you what God cannot do does not exist. Continue. A country where our government steals from those who depend on them for welfare, and those who are supposed to depend on government steal from one another for their own daily needs, where the politicians depend on the police for protections, while the police depend on harassment, bribery, and intimidation of the ordinary citizens they are supposed to protect for their own survival. And even the armed robbers depend on the police to supply guns for robbery. The custom and immigration guy at the point of entry would depend on bribe to do his job, as the security guard at the bank and the mall depend on begging to live a decent life. Oga, your boys are here. Where professors depend on government to solve the problem of their university, as students depend endlessly on the same professors for half-baked certificates to show that they are educated. Aren't we a nation of dependents? A country blessed by God with arable land and mineral resources, yet depend on foreign goods to show or announce their arrival. What a shame, and we're talking about independence. A land where the politicians hold as citizens in chain, yet depend on the same citizens to rig them back into office. Oh my sheo. The list is endless, just add yours. But I tell you, Nigerians are the ones destroying Nigeria. A man who was fired from his job for fraud would blame politicians and government for stealing. He forget saying himself steal. A kidnapper who resigned from his job to go into kidnapping will go to church for Thanksgiving, and even as he blames politicians for embezzlement, meanwhile, he's holding people at gunpoint. Even as the civil servants, the professors, professional lawyers, judges, and leaders collect bribe to compromise the processes, are also blaming government and politicians for the rot, but we forget that what we are doing is a rot. When in actual sense, we are all envious of the stealing and wants to replace the politician is doing the same. The armed robbers, fraudster, kidnappers, 419, criminal, also go join innocent people. They shout NSAS. These are the reasons why the country is consistently moving in negative. My advocacy today is simple. If you want to change Nigeria, just change the man in the mirror. And like Michael Jackson would say, God rest his soul, if you want to make Nigeria a better place, it's not just the politicians. Take a look at yourself and then make a change. That's our package for today. If you don't like our gods or you like our gods, just follow us on all our social media platforms shown on your screen and let us know how you feel. Nigeria is what we collectively make it. Happy independence.